Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, our today's topic is to study about the factors regulating population growth. There are two main factors that are very important or that help us in determining how a certain population grows or declines. Alright, so those two factors we call them as density dependent factors, and some are density independent factors. So what are density dependent factors? These are the factors that are responsible for regulating the population. Regulating means you can say controlling or maintaining. So those factors that are responsible for controlling or regulating the population in proportion to its density. For example, we have competition, predation, diseases, etc. These factors are called as density dependent factors, or you can say that the density dependent factors are factors whose effects on the size or growth of population vary means change with the population density. Those factors whose effect on the growth of population change with the population density, they are called as density dependent factors. It usually operates in large population and causes the population either to increase or decrease depending on how it affects the ecosystem. So density dependent factors, they tend to be biotic, that means they are living organism related. Some common examples of density dependent limiting factors include competition within the population. Competition for what? Competition for the resources. Suppose when we have a high density population, when a population reaches a high density, when there are huge number of individuals in a population, so what happens is individuals, they try to compete with each other for the same quantity of resources, because resources would be limited, and if population grows on increasing and increasing, what will happen is there will be competition for the resources, and that competition would be for food, water, shelter, mates, light, and other resources that are important or required for the survival and reproduction of the individuals. So when a population grows at a higher rate, there will be more competition for the resources, and the individuals that are able to compete, they will survive, and the individuals that are not able to compete, they'll be wiped out or they will die. So competition regulates, or you can say competition controls the population growth. All right, so that is why competition, it's called as density dependent factor, because it is dependent upon the density. If density is more, then competition would be high, or more competition would be there, and if we have low density population, there would be less competition. All right, then we have another density dependent factor, that's predation. Predation is killing another individual for food. Suppose if we have high density population, high density populations attract predators as compared to the low density populations. For example, when a predator like tiger, when it attacks or it kills an individual, like suppose if it is killing or if it is attacking a deer, predator, what will happen to the predator population? Predator population will increase, but it will decrease the population of deer, because it is killing the deer, and deer population will decrease, and tiger population will go on increasing. So if we have low prey density, for example, if deer population is low density, if deer population is low, what will happen is it will lead to the death of the predator, obviously, because predator cannot find then its food source, and it cannot find deer very easily. It would be difficult for the predator or the tiger to locate its food source. So low density population, low prey density, it will decrease the population of the predator. And high density, if we have high density prey or high density deer, for example, we'll just take an example. We are taking here example of deer. If the population is high density, is of high density, then what will happen is deer population will go on decreasing, and tiger population will go on increasing. All right, so that is why predation is density dependent, because it is dependent upon the density of the prey. All right, then comes the disease and parasites. Now disease is more likely to break out, and disease can result in death when more individuals are living together at the same place. And if we have high density population, then we are having more number of individuals living in the same place. So obviously there are, it's highly likely that diseases may spread when populations are living together at the same place. So diseases may spread, and disease may lead to the death of certain individuals, and then population will go on decreasing. And at the same time, when in high density populations, when individuals are living together, it's very likely that parasites, they're also, it's more likely to spread under these conditions, and parasites will also lead to the death of certain individuals. And this way disease and parasites control or regulate the population growth. All right, then we have waste accumulation. High density populations or high population densities can lead to the accumulation of more harmful waste products that can kill individuals, or reduce the population growth. So these are the factors that are density independent factors. Then we have density independent factors. Density independent factors, on the other hand, are those factors that regulate or control the population without considering the density. For example, we have natural disasters. So density independent factors include all the natural disasters, be it earthquakes, fires, volcanoes, tornadoes, floods, weather, etc. It operates in both large and small populations and is not based on population density. All right, so these natural disasters like earthquakes, fires, volcanoes, they have nothing to do with the density of a population. For example, if there is an earthquake can destroy a population even if it is low dense, or if it's highly dense, or forest fire is there. So small, like less dense population, or a small this population, small population will also be affected, as well as the large population. So these factors have nothing to do with the density. That's why we call them as density independent factors. Natural disasters like floods, fires, storms, droughts, etc., they can they can cause a decrease in the population, no matter how large or small it is. Bushfires can cause damage to the habitat of several animal species. Some animals may directly die because of the fire, and others may survive, but they will die because of the shortage of food, water, etc., as well as due to the absence of shelter. So this is the density independent factors. Now if we summarize the both the factors that regulate or control the population growth, we'll say density dependent factors are those that regulate the growth of a population depending on its density, while as density independent factors are those factors that regulate population growth without depending on its density. Example of density dependent factors are food, shelter, predation, competition, disease, etc., while examples of density independent factors are natural disasters or natural calamities like floods, fires, tornadoes, etc. Density dependent factors usually operate in large populations, while as density independent factors operate in both large as well as small populations. Density independent factors act on their own, while as density dependent factors depend upon the gain and loss rates. All right, so this is all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.